Hey everyone, my name is Melissa Strange and welcome to another episode of For the Love of Drag. Today we're going to be talking about RuPaul's Drag Race All-Star Season 2, episode number 9, also known as The Reunion, and I know I'm a few days late on posting it. Please forgive me. The reunion started off with a Real Housewives feel, Real Housewives of Tuckahoe drag realness, and Ru congratulates Alaska and flashes his shiny Emmy. And I'm hoping he brings it for the entire next season, so for all of season 9. I hope on his like judging desk when they're like the Emmy is there, just like staring at the queens. I think that'd be hilarious. And one of the first things Ru brings up is the choices that were made by Fifi, without saying Fifi, as to not attending the reunion. Do I agree that she shouldn't have attended, or that Jeremy shouldn't attend the reunion? It's an obligation of being in the show is to go to the reunion. You don't want to be in the reunion? Fine, whatever. For the reunion, they are given paddles with rhinestoned poop emojis to call each other's bullshit. I think they should have had a fan that like makes the floop sound and they flurp out their fans every time they want to call bullshit. I should have wrote it on this one, but like, how much funnier would that have been? It's like they're all talking and then all the queens who want to call bullshit just go, this one's broken. But you know what I mean? I thought that would be great, but then they had these paddle things and they weren't really used very much. And one of the first actual discussion topics of the night is the pact that all the queens made in episode 1 after Ru announced that they would be eliminating each other. And all of a sudden a lot of these queens are like, I didn't agree to this pact. I mean, Alyssa was the only one that like straight up basically said no to the pact, and the rest of the queens were like in on it from what I remember. Did I miss something where a lot of these queens said they weren't in on the pact? Because it seemed to me like they were. The only people who couldn't be in on the pact in week 1 were the people in the bottom. It just doesn't make sense that all these queens, I think it was like Katya, Tatiana, Adore, Alyssa, like a bunch of them, as soon as Ru mentioned the pact, they were like, no, we weren't in on this. But you were. Most of you just, I guess, didn't win and have to prove that you were part of the pact or not part of the pact. But Alyssa clearly did her own thing. The rest of them, I feel like, followed the pact. Coco versus Roxy is one of the first kind of head-to-heads we get of this episode. There wasn't really too many intense moments. There were some emotional moments between Coco announcing that she was very sick before going into the All-Stars 2 season. Adore, who gets very emotional about the fact that she left. But as for like actual like head-to-head fighting, there wasn't so much of that this season for the reunion. It was like Coco versus Roxy was like Coco basically saying that she's still holding a grudge against Roxy, but also that she still loves Roxy because they're sisters, and Roxy's like, girl, Coco, you could do me no wrong, you're my sister. And Coco's like, yeah, I love you too. But Coco's like clearly not over the fact that Roxy sent her home. I don't think Roxy should have sent Coco home. And Alaska says, I would, if I had won, I wouldn't have sent Coco home. You know, and a lot of the queens are kind of in agreement that Fifi probably should have gone home that first episode. When Ru brings up Adore's early departure from the season when she gave up in the second episode, Adore's very emotional still about it. You can tell she really does regret leaving. And Ru asks Adore if she would come back for season 3, and she doesn't really give a yes or a no, so hopefully she will be back for season 3 and in a better, you know, headspace and can take it and serve it and kill it. Ru asks Tatiana if she feels like Alaska eliminating her was fair, and Tatiana says, which one? Because basically she agrees that the first time, yes, she was in the bottom, and so based on the pact and everything that was going on, she was right to send her home. The second time she was sent home though, Tatiana says, no, I don't think that I was the weakest one. I don't think I should have been sent home. So Ru asks Alaska had she had taken into account what the audience would think, or was it just solely based on the pact? Like, did she realize the audience would be mad? And Alaska was kind of like, if I knew that the audience was gonna act that way, I probably would have sent some other people home. And I actually believe Alaska on that. Alaska's whole thing was that she was so focused and she's so smart and so good at this game that she was just like focus on winning and being perfect, that when it came to the eliminations, this was like this threw a wrench into her plans. Like, she was on season 5. She could be thinking about All-Stars from that moment till All-Stars 2. And when she was on it, she could have been planning basically what to do that entire time, because she even says she didn't want to look like later in the episode she says she didn't want to look like a fool or clumsy or like she was giving up, because she kind of came across that way quite a bit in season 5 because she didn't want to do that again. My thinking is that she was so in it to win it that, you know, all these queens were thrown off by the fact that they were going to have to eliminate each other. So maybe she didn't, honestly, genuinely didn't take into consideration that sending certain people home would cause repercussions from the audience. But at the same time, I'm like, none of them were going to send Katya home because Katya was a fan favorite. Even though Katya had just gotten off of season 7, it had only been a few months, I guess, since we had seen season 7 and from when she would have gone to film All Stars. But, you know, they all knew that Katya was a fan favorite, so they weren't trying to send her home. Alyssa asks Ginger what she meant when she said that she had felt that Alyssa was playing a dirty game, and, you know, because it doesn't make sense. And Ginger's like, you did play a dirty game. And then Alyssa's like, no, if I was playing a dirty game, I'd have sent home Katya, which is what I was just saying now about her being a fan favorite, because, like, Katya is amazing. And it's true, if Katya was in the bottom and Alyssa had, when Katya was in the bottom against Ginger, Alyssa sent Ginger home. Had she had sent home Katya, Alyssa would have had so much backlash, but it might have been smart for Alyssa's game because Katya was gonna kill this competition. And then I believe Alyssa calls Alaska out saying, like, do you really think it was fair that you sent me home? And Alaska's like, girl, I was in the competition with you. Apparently it took Alyssa forever to film. We did see a little bit. I thought it was funny, but when she kept going too-ha or do-ha or whatever, it's supposed to be doo-dah, and she was saying too-ha or something, I was getting frustrated as a person watching it. But Alaska was saying while she was watching it in the bar, everybody in the audience was like loving how silly Alyssa was. So, like, you know, when you're in the game playing versus when you're a person watching, you know, there's clearly a huge difference, because to Alaska, being in the moment with Alyssa filming, she was like, this is a no-brainer. Alyssa kind of failed. Where standing back from an audience perspective, watching the edit and everything that happened, Alyssa kind of seemed funny. Even though it was still a fail, it was funny. And Alaska also says that she didn't like Alyssa's 2-in-1 because it was just a camera dress that she was like this and then just dropped and then the camera dress was there. And then Katya calls bullshit on Alaska because her 2-in-1 was just little pound cake. She's like, look, you're 2 out of the 2-in-1. The second look was great, but the first one, you just were floating around in garbage bags. Now, I don't know why I didn't really notice that during the season. Well, it's probably because I'm a huge fan of Alaska, but I was so distracted because I wasn't expecting her to pull pound cake out in that episode that I totally forgot about the garbage bags. But at the same time, the garbage bags did fill out the bottom part of her dress. So at least it wasn't like she had garbage bags and then threw them off of her and like the garbage bags were gone. The garbage bags were still part of that second look. They were what made her dress super like poofy. So I was kind of like, yes, the first look wasn't a concise look. You could not go out in that, but part of the look, the pound cake part, definitely. So Katya did call her bullshit on that, and Alaska's like, whatever, the camera dress was ugly. And then Detox calls Alyssa out on her Alyssa-isms, saying that, you know, maybe some of the critique wasn't as fair to to the rest of them versus Alyssa, because it was like, oh, Alyssa's so funny, just, it's okay, it's Alyssa. And then Alyssa's like, girl, you have your thing, Alaska has her thing, Katya has her thing, we all have our own thing. And even Rue agrees and is like, nope, you all kind of get to get away with whatever you want. Like, if Detox took Alaska's looks and put them on and went down their own way, it might not work. Yeah, maybe Alyssa's, you know, looks, she gets away with things, but that's who she is. Same with how you get away with your things, and that was kind of what was going on there. Then we find out when Alyssa, Ginger, Tatiana, and Coco were behind the mirror, and they could hear everything that Fifi was saying. They were behind there for an hour before they were let out. So Alyssa was hearing everything that was happening, and she was just like, I'm so excited to get back into this game, but also I'm going to tear someone's head off right now, because she was like, she just got eliminated and Fifi is just stomping on her, spitting on her, punching her in the face, shitting on her head. Like, she was just destroying Alyssa in that episode. And I think that's so that episode where Alyssa and Tatiana came back, that's the episode where both Alyssa and Tatiana eliminated Fifi, and then I think after that is when Fifi decided she's no longer going to associate herself with WoW Presents and all of this. And at the end of that episode when Fifi is eliminated and doesn't hug Alyssa, and she says that it's because she didn't want to cry or because of tears or whatever, Tatiana calls bullshit on Fifi. She's like, she hugged everybody else and didn't cry. She just didn't want to hug Alyssa and that was her excuse. And I'm just like, because I felt like Tatiana was the only one really calling bullshit on Fifi, and she was even during the season. Like, some of them were a little bit, but to me, Fifi was like really against Alyssa, and like, you know, and then not owning up to her, to making excuses. And there's just been so much drama with Fifi that I'm over it. Like, I just don't even want to walk that line, like, at all. Like, it's just so annoying. So I was just happy that Tatiana threw some more shade Fifi's way. And Ru asks all the queens to toot and boot everybody's looks during the season, what was their favorite, what was their least favorite, and most of them made a lot of sense. But I wanted to boot one of the looks of the night. What in the heck was Roxy wearing? She's usually real good. This was the first time I'm like, Roxy, that ain't foxy. What are you wearing? Especially those gloves. It was like, you know when you're a kid and you have those big markers and you trace your hands? And then, you know, you take your hand off the paper and you've accidentally got marker on the inside creases of your hands. That is literally exactly what Roxy's gloves look like. And I'm like, girl, you made a mistake. Everybody else gets a toot from me, especially Alaska in that hairspray cockroach dress. That was just great. Ru announces that she'd like to talk about global warming, also known as Alaska's meltdown. And Alaska explains that, you know, it was because she put so much pressure on herself. It was the first time she was in the bottom. She didn't want to be made into like a goofy fool, and it happened. And then when Ru asks the rest of the queens what they thought, they all kind of had really different opinions on it, which I was shocked about. Some of them said it was strategic, it was childish. Alyssa, who basically said that she actually thought it proved how much Alaska wanted to be there, because she was like, I will do anything, I'll give you money, like, please let me stay, I don't want to go. Now, a lot of people are saying that it was a bribe and that she should have been eliminated or should have the crown taken away from her. She's a winner, baby. I do not at all think that Alaska should be eliminated for the bribe, because it was not that serious. And I've talked about the bribe in previous videos, but come on guys, chill out. I feel like that was just a bunch of Katya fans trying to get Alaska like eliminated so Katya could win. Who would want to win on the terms of somebody literally just being eliminated and then that's why you won as like the runner-up? Like, come on, that sucks. Detox admits that she feels like sending Alyssa home was a mistake and that she wishes she didn't do it, and Alyssa says that she doesn't hold a grudge and she understands she couldn't send home her family and she couldn't send home Alaska, who was killing it, so it's fine, there's no grudges. And then you have Roxy, who's like, being in the top 4 was bittersweet because she really wanted to be there, but also she was in the bottom so much that she felt like she didn't deserve to be there. And then there's Alyssa who goes, yeah, but Roxy should have won because she was in the bottom so much and still made it to the end. I thought that was funny, but no, Roxy should not have won. Roxy's great, but she did not win All Stars 2. She was, no. I was actually thinking about it because in the first episode she won and eliminated Coco, and then the rest of the week she was in the bottom and like didn't go home versus everybody else, and we were all like mad that Roxy was staying every week. And then I'm like, wow, and in the first week she's the reason why somebody went home. So like literally every week it was like it was basically Roxy's, not fault, but Roxy had something to do with the people leaving every week. Do you know what I mean? Because yeah, I hope that made sense because I think it's hilarious. And then Ru says you aren't given redemption, you have to earn it, and that she'd like to just clear that up because some people might not understand that that's what that meant. And that made me laugh the house down boots, because that is directly being thrown at Fifi, who said in like interviews and Twitter articles, all these things, saying like, I came back on the show because I was promised a redemption, and where's my redemption? You made me look like I'm evil still. Like, yeah, it's a show, girl, but like they weren't gonna write you in a redemption story. They were just giving you the opportunity to redeem yourself, like how 90% of these queens were able to do this entire season. Look at what they all did. They all proved something that they weren't able to prove in their respective seasons. Like, Roxy has totally turned it around. She was seen as like a bitch, but she could have probably maybe won Miss Congeniality out of this, you know, who knows? But like, you know, it just made me laugh, and I was like, I'm so glad that they're calling Fifi out on this stuff, because like, girl, you're not gonna show up to the reunion. Please, we're gonna just... And then Ru kind of gives Alaska a little when she shows her the season 2 audition tape that Alaska sent in, which was hilarious. And she goes, that was the second time. You also submitted a third, a fourth, and a fifth. And then they're all laughing, and then Alaska's like, and I'm gonna send one for next year. And I thought that was really funny, because I think she should actually do that for YouTube and just be like, hi, my name's Alaska, and this is my audition for RuPaul's Drag Race Season 10. I think it would be really funny if she did like a whole audition just for the laughs, because obviously she won All Stars, but you know, she could even say that in her thing, like, I should be on RuPaul's Drag Race because I won All Stars too. Something like that. That would be so good. I hope she does something like that. I don't think she will, but it would be great if she does. And everybody also says what their favorite Alaska moments were from this season, and they basically said everything, you know, each queen said a little bit, and I thought it was really sweet what Ru had to say and what everybody had to say about Alaska. I was trying to come up with what my favorite Alaska moment was of the whole season, and Pound Cake is up there for the shock value. The rap though at the end there, her in Read You Wrote You, that was one of my favorite parts. And the kitten heel on the death drop thing, the fake death drop that she did. There's just so many moments. Oh, it was a great season. And with that, ending the episodes of RuPaul's Drag Race All-Star Season 2. Thanks for sticking around and watching these every week, everybody. It means a lot to me. I will definitely be doing Season 9 recaps and reviews, just like I did for Season 8, just like I did for All-Stars 2. I was thinking of going back and doing some previous seasons, what I thought about certain things, some of my favorite moments from previous seasons. I'm also going to be posting still some more content about All-Star Season 2. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. Let me know in the comments down below what your favorite part of the reunion was. I'd love to know. And if there's any other Drag Race related content you would like me to do, probably doing something about the Boulet brothers' new show, The Search for the Next Drag Super Monster, Dragula. Thank you all for watching very, very much. Once again, everybody, my name's Melissa Strange, and until next time, stay strange.